All right. Good morning. It's Viewpoint, the program of personalities, politicians, and perspectives. And I'd like to first say that we have back personality and a perspective. Welcome back, Mrs. Busby.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's a little chilly to be back, but it's good to be back. I saw both your programs while I was gone on Carolyn's computer. And I always get a kick out of seeing Cince do it, of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, her daughter does a great job. She could sit there. Her daughter substituted for Marla and while she was away.
It's a genetic thing. See, my mom was a motor mouth, and then me, and I've got two kids that would stand up in front of everybody and say whatever they had to say. So it's a genetic defect. We also have bad shoulders.
Well, it's a comfortable feeling to have you sitting there back in your chair. Now, if you just do something right for, kind of make it up to me for being gone, well, everything will be fine.
Well, the only thing is, my dad always said, don't let people think you're stupid, Jude. Open your mouth and prove it. And that's why I'm here.
All right. Well, we always start the Viewpoint program, Marla, with always try to start with a kudo for the community. And I noted the other day that we have two ladies in the community who are fledgling firefighters. You've not been back long enough to probably pick that up yet in the paper.
I didn't know.
Well, we have a young lady, I want to make sure I get this right here, Kayla No, and there was a feature article about Kayla, and then a young lady by the name of Olivia Griesheim was down in the Elkhart district, mentioned in this article about lady firefighters. Well, let me tell you, hats off to those gals. That's not an easy go. Not just going to the fires. I'm talking about the preparation and the training. There's a lot goes into wanting to be a firefighter, and I take my hat off like I did the other day when we had that young lady on the telephone from Seattle that is a mountain climber.
Yeah, right.
That's a major thing to me, to this old geezer, to see these folks.
It's a nice thing, though, Bill, because when you and I were young, Maggie, for men it was one thing, but for the female part of the world, you could be a secretary or a nurse.
Or a librarian.
Or what would be the teacher. That was it. And then your mom said, well, it's time for you to go off to college. Now, what do you want to be, a secretary, a nurse, or a teacher? Because that was it. Yeah. That was the options.
Well, I was
impressed.
And
now you can be anybody you want. And I think it's wonderful.
Good morning. You have a question or comment?
Well, the fact that the young lady tried 3 times to qualify, and she had the guts to stay with it, and the determination. And so good. Oh, we have a telephone call.
More power to her. You want to pick up your
Blair,
headset?
if you'll put that headset on, you and I will share again. And good morning, caller. Thank you very much.
Hi, I just wanted to welcome Judy back and let her know that we missed her and we're glad to hear her.
Oh, well, bless your heart. Aren't you? Now you're my new best friend. Isn't that swell?
Great.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
That's very nice. We appreciate that very, very much. We certainly welcome her back. Thank you.
Well, that was...
Okay, well, there's a little morale boost for you this morning here.
That was...
Okay.
My dad was a fireman, a volunteer fireman in Robbinsdale, which is suburban North Minneapolis, and now my niece is a fireman. I'm not getting into semantics, okay? My niece is a fireman in Maple Grove, which is suburban North Minneapolis.
Thank goodness you didn't say fire person.
I hate that.
I'm
or
so
male person.
Yes.
You're a mailman, you're a mailman. You carry the mail,
exactly
right? Okay.
Well, in any event, the point being that these two young ladies have that as something that they want to do, and they've got a lot of determination, a lot of grit, and as I said in reading the article, a lot of work goes into that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, there's ongoing training, and to be an emergency medical technician, that's a big deal. So, thanks to them. By golly, take my fireman's hat off to them.
You know, when my dad was a fireman, a volunteer fireman, they got paid $2 a fire.
A fire.
And my dad wore a...
He didn't go around setting fires to get paid, did he?
Golly, no, he didn't have time. He was running a lumber yard, and he wore a suit And that $2 almost covered the cost of getting the suit cleaned after he'd go to a fire.
I can tell you about that.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
Well, why don't we introduce our guest this morning and get right down to business here.
I could do that. Marla Blair is the Administrative Director of the United Way of Logan County. And we've had a United Way organization here for many, many years. And you have a big job to do. You have a board of how many?
Right now we have 11 board members.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And you have how many local entities that you help support?
We have 14 member agencies, and in those 14 agencies are 15 programs. There are 2 senior programs from Community Action.
Well, I figured you'd be involved with Community Action because I see one of your public policies is to promote education, particularly early education. Yes. And of course, Community Action does a beautiful job with that program.
Yes, yes. The Head Start program there has been in existence since the initiation of the Community Action program in Logan County. In fact, that was its first program. Yes.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. And your other program within Community Action is what?
The 2 programs are that we assist in funding are the senior transportation and senior nutrition.
Uh-huh. Well, that's great. That's just great. And then income. Maybe you could go into that a little bit. Building strong communities through financial stability.
That is one that always gets a puzzled look from people.
Yeah, that's why my face looks like this now.
When you say we're going to support efforts in health and education, people can imagine several items that should be dealt with, gaps in funding and needs of support. But when you say income, that is sounds odd. But in order to keep it simple, that's what that is what it's termed from United Way Worldwide. But anything that enhances someone's ability to gain employment, to be able to get to their job, in order to be able to support themselves and their family independently, that is what income entails. So that also is pretty broad. Anything, that's the beauty of, or the way I see it, it's the beauty of United Way Worldwide is that they have these focus areas, but anything you can find in your community to address, any partner, whether it's schools, businesses, other organizations, in order to address the needs is a go. It's usually going to work if you see a need and can fill it.
Do you include programs whereby people can get their GED by way of both education and income? Because your income possibilities are much enhanced if you get a GED, if you didn't take advantage of going through school all the way.
Right. And, they have the GED program at the Heartland Community College site. And if there was an area that we could assist in, and it wouldn't have to be to fund it, but if we could help develop a program or add to something they do to encourage people to be there, that would be an area that we could focus on.
Now, when it comes time for your drive and all, and I do remember that. You remember Greg Roosevelt?
Yes.
Yeah, mm-hmm. He was a state's attorney. This is probably 100 years ago, I imagine, pretty close. And he and I were the drive chairman for the United Way at one time, and we had a dog and pony show we'd take to anybody at any hour that would watch our video and participate. And we're in, of course, on deciding what the levels would be, and I think that's the first time they went for 100,000 in the county of Logan. And it was a big job, but we determined that by the amount of participants we have that we will be supporting, and how much we can afford to do for each of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Judith Kate, we have a call again.
We do?
All right, go right ahead, caller, please.
Hi there. I just wanted to call and say a couple of things. First off, it's nice to hear Judy's voice back on Viewpoint.
Oh, bless you.
Always.
Well, welcome back. Mr. Gossett always does a fine job, but Judy, we just like to hear you too. So.
Oh, well, see, you're just nice all the time.
Stuff again this morning. Go right ahead, sir.
And I just wanted to congratulate Marla for all the fine work she does for the United Way. It's a great organization in our community, and they do a lot of terrific things for a lot of different organizations. And we're blessed that they're here and as active as they are. And just wanted to say thanks for that.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we appreciate that a lot, Keith.
You're welcome.
Have yourself a great day, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, you guys
right,
too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you a lot. Well, it's nice to have the mayor weigh in on and appreciate your efforts.
Yes.
And they're considerable.
Yeah.
Raising money in good times is not an easy thing.
Right.
These are not good times. And depending upon the public, which is what we do, that's got to be a daily challenge.
Yes, it is. It's Judy mentioned our drive, our campaign, the United Way campaign, runs from mid-September to mid-November, when I call it, a blitz. When we really focus on putting the word out there more strongly than any other time of the year. But it is an ongoing daily activity to be sure that I'm at the table with other organizations, and that I am in touch with businesses and all, like, interagency activity. We belong to the Chamber of Commerce, and some people may see that only as a business organization, but that puts us in touch with the community and what's going on, and hopefully advocates and supporters for our programs. So we do other activities that promote the United Way within, so that we are standing equal with the organizations and businesses in the community and across the county. When I say community, we are United Way of Logan County, so I don't ever forget that even though we're in Lincoln, we also represent and take care of the smaller communities. And two of our new board members are from outlying towns, one in Emden, one from Emden. LaDonna Gass is from Emden.
Oh, she's a wonderful girl.
Yes, she's very nice. I've known her for a few years now because of her library in Emden.
Yes, of course.
Yes, and then we have Reverend Rachel Stockel, who is the pastor for the United Methodist Churches in Mount Pulaski, Latham, and Chestnut, and so she is new to our board.
Well, good.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway because I think I need to emphasize it, and that is that these volunteers, of course, are exactly that, volunteers, non-paid.
Exactly.
Like so many things in our community, people get together and get their shoulders to the wheel and do that of their own volition because they want to be a part and to help the community. So we appreciate the volunteers that serve on your board. And you meet how often?
Once a month.
Uh-huh. Now, I noted that you're hardly the new kid on the block as far as the length of United Way service. 125 years of service under the term United Way. But that's almost when I was around.
Yeah. Yes. Last year.
Seriously, I had no cognizance of that at all. That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's the United Way worldwide.
Uh-huh.
They were initiated in Denver in 1887. And there was a woman who was just socially conscious, I guess you'd say, about the needs of agencies and small groups trying to help people, and then some religious figures, a rabbi and 3 ministers, and they all got together and put together a charitable organization, which eventually became the United Way.
Now, excuse me, go ahead, Judy.
please.
No, you go right ahead, please.
Do you have a change from time to time in entities that you include on your list of beneficiaries?
Oh, okay. The agencies, they reapply annually. In fact, we have an application that will start. Our application process will start mid-March when those go out, and then also small agencies who are not currently member agencies of the United Way can apply to receive assistance. And then after those applications come back to us, the board sits down and reviews the needs and looks over the applications, and then we do interviews with representatives from all of those agencies, and to get so that the board knows more about them and so that we understand what it is they need to do and what they have done. We have several agencies, and Community Action and the Oasis are two of those. The YMCA, they have been member agencies for several years, but their needs change, and there are gaps in funding over time that change what they need or what they're going to do with the funds.
Do you have a cap then on the number of organizations that you support, or so does somebody have to go if somebody new comes on?
No. In fact, I'm working with 2 agencies in town now who are planning to apply this year that will add to the list. And no, we don't have a cap on that. And it's basically, when I've looked back over the records of past lists of agencies, it's stayed about 13 to 14, but that is not... I would like to see more agencies come on board, because I know there are some small ones around that focus on a certain need, and they probably could use assistance. And they can't, and sometimes they're too small, or they're a 1 or 2 person office like ours.
Yes.
That if they just don't do fundraising, they really don't have the capacity, and the more people they serve, then the bigger the need is.
Well, and the more people they serve and the bigger their need is, then the bigger your goal has to be.
Exactly. This year our goal is $110,000, and that is, like you mentioned before, when they come to us, they have a number in mind. We ask, how much do you need? And then it's pretty simple math, and we add that up, and what is our total, and round it up, because then we are sure to be able to cover everyone. And so our $110,000 for 2013 is more than there has been before, but I don't think it's what we can really raise. I think we can meet that and go beyond it. Bill mentioned that times are kind of slim right now, and people are maybe cutting back on some of their donating, but while that may be the case in some areas, it's not that we are just, that our coffers are full and running over, but the communities in Logan County have been very generous, and they have continued to support us, and so, I feel that there is there is a need out there, and there is also a way to generate that extra.
Well, oftentimes in some of these charities throughout the country, they get a bit of top-heavy administration and so forth, and we've read about that and read some of the ridiculous salaries some of the folks that get it. I'd say we're not very top-heavy.
No.
You be, as the expression goes, you be the only one.
Exactly. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer there.
Yeah.
I do administrative director or president or CEO, whatever you want to call it, coordinator. This position in the past has been called coordinator. You do the meet and greet, you do the organizing the campaign, and
run the vacuum, I bet.
Yes, yes, you do. And it's not. I love it. This is a great job, and it's a good agency, and But it's busy because you have to be you're out and about, but you're in the office and do some letter writing and some.
Well, it isn't like you have a secretary that can cover for you. You know, you can't say to your secretary, send out letter number such and such, or you be the secretary.
Yes.
You be the treasurer.
Yes.
You be the janitor. That's kind of like a radio station I know.
Oh, yeah, right. Keeps dissension out of the ranks anyway.
One person does it all. But seriously now, I'm looking here at these facts that you gave me here. You have Judith and I. We have the Oasis, Lincoln Area YMCA, Girl Scouts, Christian Child Daycare, Boy Scouts, the Senior Transportation, Senior Nutrition, United Cerebral Palsy. Those are all vital adjuncts to our way of life here in Logan County.
Right.
And none of whom will survive without the support of the community.
Exactly. And, also, like United Cerebral Palsy and the Epilepsy Resource Center, those are located, their headquarters are in Springfield, but their territory covers Logan County, and so they have services and educational programs for anyone who's affected by that, by those conditions. And so when people don't see an office here in town or in the county anywhere, doesn't mean that the money's going far away, because those representatives also come to meetings here in town and are involved with activity. They will be at the health fair in March and have information for people who need it. So they're as involved and connected to the county as if they were located here.
You're serving a major portion of the community with the various activities that you support here. I'm thinking, Judith K., in less sophisticated days when you had somebody with CP or maybe just an older person that was almost confined to a home because they had residence. Not a group home, but a residence, had no way of getting around, no way of getting nutrition, and so this is a major impact into the social being and economic well-being of a lot of our citizens.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes, and it runs the gamut of early child care, daycare, before and after school programs at the YMCA, all the way up to seniors and people in between. So, which is why I believe that we should have as many agencies with us as possible, because we want to be sure that everyone who needs a service is provided for. And I think people, if we just focused on one segment of the population or one area of activity, it wouldn't be the United Way. That's our whole thing, is give, advocate, and volunteer. And the United Way is exactly that entity that can cover all of those agencies and speak for them and generate the interest and the concern from the communities.
Well, just as United Way serves the community, we need to take a couple of seconds break here to serve our sponsors. So if Mr. Ash is ready to work in for their sponsorship, we're ready to take a short break.